Greetings from the Arcturians. If you hear any drippy noises in the background, that's because it's raining here. I have some more truth to speak on this New Year's Day. I mean, I would have spoken this truth anyway because I feel like it and because I need to speak it out and speak up about it. I would have done it anyway. It just happens to be New Year's Day. Just thoughts I want to share. And I think I've said this a little bit before once in one of my previous videos, but this time I'm actually going to go in and spell it out even more for people. Because people are not getting it. They're still not getting it. So I need to keep spelling it out for people until they get it. You know, I was just thinking how mainstream religions and organized religions, how mainstream organized religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, and they're also called, Abrahamic religions, and Hinduism. But I'll come back to Hinduism in a minute. But first, I want to address this point when it comes to the mainstream organized religions of Judaism, meaning Jews, Christianity, meaning Christians, and Islam, meaning Muslims, and how there's no mention of reincarnation really, other than that there's a mention of the second coming of Jesus when it comes to Christianity or the religion of Christianity. But even then, do most Christians pause to think what does that mean? Second coming? Like, they know what it means, as in, oh, they're waiting for Jesus to come back, right? But if somebody like me used the word reincarnation, then that wouldn't really register with a lot of Christians because they're not really used to that word. They're not really familiar with the word reincarnation. They are only familiar with the word or the phrase second coming. But second coming means the same thing as reincarnation. Like, do you see what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to tell you? Like how people are, especially believers and so-called believers and followers of these three mainstream religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And when it comes to reincarnation, like they wouldn't even get it. They wouldn't even understand what I'm saying and what I'm telling them unless I use the right words, unless I use the words and phrases that they are familiar with. Let's come to Judaism. Is there any mention of reincarnation in Judaism? Not that I've heard of. Is there any mention of reincarnation in the religion of Islam? Is there any mention of reincarnation in Islam? And do Muslims know about it? Actually, there is a mention of reincarnation in Islam, as in the Muslim holy book Quran in chapter 2 of the Quran. But most Muslims don't even know about it. Like, how many Muslims even know about that? I'm sure most Muslims don't even know about it, because most Muslims don't even really read their own holy book in a way where they actually understand what it's telling them, because most Muslims just read the Quran like a parrot in Arabic, because they're just reciting it in Arabic without even understanding, its meaning. But also because the way I would interpret that Quran verse in chapter 2, nobody else has. Nobody else has looked at that verse and has interpreted that Quran verse in that way, because nobody else other than me would be able to interpret that Quran verse in that way, because nobody else has that kind of deep insight into things, into spiritual things, into spirituality, and when it comes to the soul and spirit, which is ruh for Muslims. Because only someone like me would have that kind of deep insight, because I am a prophet, a prophetess. So only someone like me would have that kind of deep insight and knowledge and wisdom. So even though there is a mention of reincarnation in the Muslim holy book Quran, how many Muslims actually know about reincarnation? Exactly. Not many, if any Muslims at all. I mean, there might be a few Muslims out there who may know about reincarnation, because, there can always be exceptions. So let me just say it like that. But most Muslims do not know about reincarnation, and they do not understand reincarnation and what that is. Right. Now let's come to the religion of Hindus, called Hinduism. Now, in Hinduism, yes, there's a mention of reincarnation. Hindus know about reincarnation more than the, rest of these three mainstream religions of Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. Hindus know about reincarnation. But even then there's a problem. Even with Hindus, there's a problem, even when they know that reincarnation exists and what it is, or they at least have a basic idea about it. Even then, how do you expect someone to come back or reincarnate? Are you expecting someone to reincarnate and come back in a specific way? And what if they don't reincarnate and come back in that specific way that you are expecting them to? Then what happens? And when it comes to Hindus, let's take the example of Krishna. Now, are Hindus expecting Krishna's return? Meaning, are Hindus expecting Krishna to reincarnate and come back? Yes, but in what way exactly are Hindus expecting Krishna to reincarnate and or just come back? It doesn't even have to be a reincarnation specifically, but in what way the Hindus are expecting Krishna to come back? Oh, let me guess. They must expect Krishna to reincarnate and come back in a man's body, because they would expect Krishna's soul or spirit, which is Atma for Hindus. They must expect Krishna's soul or spirit or Atma to reincarnate and come back in a man's body, right? But what if Krishna comes back and we're not talking about reincarnation here for a moment. Let's just say Krishna's comeback, not reincarnation specifically, but Krishna's comeback. What if Krishna comes back in a different way? For example, what if Krishna comes back as a walk-in in a woman's body, temporarily, at this time? Then what? Then how are the Hindus going to react to that? Are they going to accept that? Are they even going to understand that? And then, what if Krishna also turns out to be the same soul as Prophet Muhammad for Muslims? What if Krishna for Hindus also turns out to be the same soul as Prophet Muhammad for Muslims, and also the same soul as Prophet Matthew from the Bible for Jews and Christians? Oh my. How are people going to understand that? Not just Hindus, but how are people going to understand that? And now I'm going to bring in all of them. I'm going to bring in the Hindus, the Jews, the Christians, and the Muslims. How are they going to understand that? Right? Like, it's too much for people to understand something like that. Because when it comes to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, there's not really a mention of reincarnation or souls coming back anyway. So, Jews, Christians, Muslims, they don't really have an understanding of reincarnation or souls coming back in any way. So then, but even when it comes to Hinduism and Hindus, they do have a basic understanding of reincarnation and souls coming back. But if a soul comes back in a way that people are not expecting, then what happens? Exactly what is happening with me and with us here on this channel. But exactly what's happening with me and with us. No one's getting it. No one's accepting it. Because how can Krishna for Hindus be Prophet Muhammad for Muslims and can also be Prophet Matthew from the Bible for Jews and Christians? It's like, no! How can that be? We're not gonna accept that because we are so stuck in our own religious boxes, because we are so stuck in our own religions that we cannot accept that our guy could also be their guy too. Like, really? Is this what your religions have done to you? Yes, because you have no idea how things work at the soul level. Nothing to do with religion, but everything to do with the soul, spirit, ruh, atma, and how things work at the soul level. You have no idea, do you? You're all about religion, but you have no idea how things work at the soul level, do you? So, what good are your religions then? And then coming back to Islam and the Muslims have been told a big lie by, minions of Jinn Iblis, by agents of Jinn Iblis, by human minions of Jinn Iblis. You can call them false prophets too, I guess, or just charlatans. Prophet Muhammad was the last prophet. Meaning what? Meaning there's no one coming after Prophet Muhammad. There's no more prophets. There are no more prophets coming after Prophet Muhammad for Muslims. And it also means that, oh, even Prophet Muhammad himself is not coming back. Really. So we have that massive problem when it comes to Islam and the Muslims. And then on top of that, if someone like me comes along and tells the Muslims, oh, you know what? Yes, Prophet Muhammad for you, but he is also the same soul as Krishna for Hindus, and he is also the same soul as Prophet Matthew from the Bible for Jews and Christians. And then Muslims would be like, what? Huh? What? They're not gonna get it, right? And that's exactly what's happening. They're not getting it. No one's getting it. Even the Hindus are not getting it. Even the Hindus who know about reincarnation are not getting it. Why? Because, oh, Krishna hasn't really actually reincarnated at this point. He's just come back as a walk-in. And, oh, well, I guess even the Hindus don't really know about walk-ins and what that is and how that works. So the Hindus aren't getting it either. But this is what hurts me and hurts us the most. People don't even want to learn. They don't even want to know. They don't even want to learn about what they don't know. That's the big problem. Because instead of knowing and instead of learning and instead of trying to understand, they rather just, no, we can't accept this. No, I'm just going to deny, dismiss, not accept it. It's unacceptable. I'm just going to ignore it. This is impossible. Oh, and of course, she is crazy. What is she even talking about? This is what your religions have done to you. Do you see that? Can you see that? Of course you cannot see that. Because if you could see that, you would not be behaving in this way. Now would you? But this is what your religions have done to you. That you would deny someone like Krishna, that Hindus would deny someone like Krishna, and that Muslims would deny their own prophet, Prophet Muhammad, and that Jews and Christians would deny Prophet Matthew from the Bible. This is what your religions have done to you. I've said my piece for now. Over and out.